Will from Datasharp, thanks very much for joining us here today. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your company?
I am Director of Pre-Sales at Datasharp, so I look after the information security and unified communication side of the business, making sure that we build the right solutions for our customers, they're the right shape and size, and we're not misdirecting anything on that side of things. And then today, obviously, here to talk about GDPR.
What's the title of your presentation, and can you take us through some of the key elements?
The main thing about today is about network security and GDPR, and what does that mean to the people that we're presenting to? What does it mean to modern businesses? So the main thing that we want people to take away is that yes, there are some threats out there. You know, what happens if there's a breach? What happens if you do nothing about that breach? What do you need to consider around your data? Not only have you got it and are you allowed to use it, but what happens if somebody comes and takes it from you? It's almost like a new tool in the cyber criminals hand kit. So if they can hold you to ransom because they know that this is going to affect you seriously, then what can you do about that? And it comes at it from multiple angles, so that it's email, it's border protection, it's antivirus, and it's where are those technologies moving? What should people be concerned about with their existing infrastructure? What should they be doing to the future to mitigate any potential disasters in the future?
Can you tell us, we were talking earlier about your technology centre at Datasharp. Can you give us a bit of an overview on how that's set up?
At our place over in Bath, we have essentially the whole first floor of it is a technology suite. So everything that we supply, we have multiple options around the various solutions. So whether it's unified comms, whether it's security, whether it's video conferencing, we don't just sell one of any one of those. The whole point is to be able to view them side by side so that people can understand for themselves what's the differences between these various technologies. And it's not about going in, waving a flag saying we sell X, Y, and Z. It's about matching the solution to the requirement. So one of the things we've been doing there, because it's a reasonable size space, you can hold a local seminar for maybe 20, 30 people, but it's quite a close-knit thing. So when we come in, it feels more personal, we say. People can come in, they can get some one-on-one time. We can explain to them what our solutions are based around, and network security has been a huge part of that, massive growth part of our business, because people are very concerned. GDPR has been a catalyst, definitely, but ultimately people just don't want the cost impact and the time impact from being attacked by cybercriminals.
Do you think that cost and time are the main areas of concern for people, or are there other sort of elements that make tackling this more challenging?
I think people are concerned from two angles. They're concerned about internal threat. Is it their own staff who are innocently or maliciously doing bad things, or triggering bad events, which then can have a big impact on the IT department, and what happens if that workstation or that whole company is suddenly taken down with something very nasty.
And that's downloading a video to watch later on, or games, or is there a typical sort of misdemeanor that causes these types of problems, or is it a range of things?
I would say that from the innocent side of things, people clicking on an email, a phishing email with a link, and not really thinking about what they're doing, and this is where the education comes in, clicking on something and then saying, oh, do you know what, here, click, click, run, what's going on? And all of a sudden, that's it. You've got a WannaCry virus or a cyberware or something like this, and it's suddenly propagated its way across your whole network, completely innocent. I think that business owners can mitigate that risk with modern technology. But more and more, they're concerned about the behavioral detection, behavioral threat detection, data loss prevention. What happens if somebody comes in with a USB stick and pops it in my drive, and takes that data and then walks out of the building?
Well, a Mission Impossible type
we want
scenario with a fake mask.
Exactly, we want biometric scanners. No, but the whole point is that if you've got good policy in place, you can stop a lot of this stuff from happening. If the technology's there to be able to scan the incoming and outgoing traffic, you make sure that nothing surreptitious is coming in through emails, or that people are sending stuff out through your own email system with your company data on it to wherever they like. Hackers can come in through a number of different ways. You've got phishing, you've got a direct attack using exploit kits of getting in through your Wi-Fi, getting in through whatever means. If somebody really wants to get in, it's very hard to stop somebody that's very talented. But what you want to do is not make it easy. You don't want the opportunist thieves finding a nice easy way in. And that's what we're all about, and that's what we want to raise the awareness about.
So, well, I was interested as to how the modern antivirus sort of software and systems are working against new threats.
So the landscape's changed quite a bit on that front. Take a typical antivirus piece of software that sits on your machine, forgetting everything else that might be protecting you outside of that. Let's say a virus has made its way to your machine, and you update the antivirus signature database on your machine once a day, once a week, maybe once an hour if it's good, maybe it's once every 15 minutes. One of the biggest issues that we've got are there are 30 new viruses being made every minute.
Wow.
As soon as these viruses come out, they're expected to only have a lifespan of a week, because by the time that week's gone on, they've been detected, all the virus updates, the definitions have been updated, and people are essentially immune to them. So it's all about zero-day threats. How do I manufacture a new virus every second, every 30 of them a minute, as many as I like, and then how do I direct that attack? So now the antiviruses are not about looking for virus signatures of known viruses, it's about understanding what impact do they have on that machine. And then if that machine detects any of that type of behavior, how do I isolate that machine? How do I take that machine away from the rest of the network? And then how do I remediate from that point? How do I roll that machine back to before it had a virus? And if I can do that with 2 button clicks, we've saved a massive amount of time for the IT team. And that's where we're going. You know, that is reality right now, here today, is how do you defend against zero-day attacks, direct exploits, and people hacking into the system.
What are these viruses typically doing on my machine? And am I safe because I'm a Mac user?
Oh, I love that one. The Mac user. You'll love my presentation later on. There is a smugness about iPhone and Mac users. I think most of the people that are in the room are going to get a bit of a shock at one point during my presentation when they realise there are exploits out there that allow people to hack into a Mac. Obviously, you know, if they're up to date and they've got decent things, this shouldn't happen to them. But if they are susceptible and they don't realise it, somebody can hack into the Mac, and actually, not only are they in, but they get told what your password is. Now, there's a terrifying thing. How many times do people use the same password in multiple places?
Guilty of
Yeah.
that.
So and
Yeah.
it's common. Everybody, you know, everybody's the same. I think there's a lot of slightly head bowing, shaming. Oh God, what am I going to change as soon as I get out of here? So Mac users definitely not immune. iPhone users definitely not immune. That's where people are going. They're finding new exploits. There's stuff that the CIA has released and has been found out that they've been using for years, known exploits that then get brought to the surface, and then we find out they've been using them for years because they knew they were there, and it was very useful for people like the CIA.
Handy for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I just like to go and tap into that open exploit on your IP video camera there, sir.
The people are watching me while I'm typing. I can't imagine why anybody would want to, but
Generally not on
not very interesting.
Generally not on a normal webcam. But you know, if a hacker can do that, if a hacker can get onto your network and get to the IP address of an internal camera in your house, let's say a baby monitor.
Right.
Not only can they see internal personal things that are going on, but they know when you're out. All right, so it can be a pretty scary world, and people are largely sticking their fingers in their ears and pretending it's not really happening, or hoping that it's not happening, or of course it won't be me. And we're not here to scare anybody, but what we do want to do is just raise that awareness so that, quite frankly, if people go and just change their password policy, or they think about some of the technologies they're putting in before they do it, that can make a really big difference.
Well, word from Datasharp. Thanks very much for coming along, and thanks for coming to talk to me.
Our pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Cheers.